Greetings and salutations. Ben here, Trev there, Charles right about there as well. Yeah, off to Sunday night hang right here on Sunday.
Guys?
It's gonna be fun. It's December. It's 'tis the season. I don't know. There's a bunch of snow out there. I didn't have to shovel today. Yay! That was nice.
How cold is it? How cold is it there? Like average temperature during the day?
Well, it depends. This week, right around the freezing mark.
Okay.
A few degrees below freezing.
We're right at
This
like
coming
39,
week,
40 degrees during the day. That's with wind. It's still cold. It's cold.
Thursday and Friday this week, Charles, plus 6 Celsius. Balmy this time of year. If we can get above freezing anytime between now and mid-March, we're happy. Wow. I got the asphalt driveway. It gets rid of any residual snow from the heat refraction and science and stuff. I don't know how it works, but I don't care. All I know is sun's out. Melts the snow off the vehicle, melts it off the driveway, and I'm good to go.
That is awesome, guys. Let me activate the chat so I actually see.
Who do we got a bunch of people in here. First, yesterday, Steve Razor Rose. Steve was here, and I'm sure he's back. Then we got Zach Thong. We got Music Therapy Laz in the house. What's up, Laz?
Right on, Laz.
Dr. Kramer, which I believe is Dan Gorman. Man,
correct.
We need to match up their names. All I'm saying. Eston Ray with some numbers. Terry's 3Gs, just one number.
Right on, Terry.
Plural letters. Just saying. Dennis Ellis, but with only 3 letters or 3 numbers. That's interesting. There's Steve. Racy Monkey Guitars is here. Eddie Fay. Michael Krause.
Eddie, right on, man.
Mark Taft in the house.
Right on. Cheers, Mark.
It's good to see you, Mark. Right
Billy Baloney and a stupid number. Nice. That's why I love his. Is actually Billy Baloney and his stupid. I love it. Classic. There's Trev. You can tell by the way they types. And then there's Hip. Imagine that. And there's Nick. Aren't you gigging? The guy gigs like 14,000 times a day or so. I don't know. It's not that many. 4 times a week, probably. I don't know. Entertaining. I was going to say the greater Chicago area, but more the greater Joliet area. Good to see you, Nick.
Right on, Nick.
All the music is here. Dastardly Dave. He isn't really that dastardly. We know.
Cheers, Dave.
Patrick Strait.
Patrick, trying to keep warm.
Doug. Nope, you're not early at all, let alone enough.
Right on.
Papa Blue. Holy crap! Look at this. There he is, the doctor himself. Brother Charles! Yay! Wait, we have a thing.
It's good to see you, Charles. Right on, man.
There he is, Charles. Oh, yeah.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
Hey, look at that. We're caught up. Awesome. Woo.
Right on.
All right.
Cool.
99 gigs performed this year from Nick. If anyone says live music is dead, well, it might be everywhere except in Nick's neighborhood.
Right.
Richard Nagamitsu.
Richard, right on, man. Richard, that's awesome. Right on, you guys. So what's new? What's new? I kind of haven't played a guitar in like almost 3 months now.
I've noticed that. Actually, the last time you played guitar, I think, was on this channel.
It was. And even though I'm going through a lot of healing, and I won't go back into all of it, but the last year has been stupid ridiculous in many ways. And the other ways, it's been fantastic. We'll talk about both a little bit. But the dexterity in these 2 fingers right here, even though the numbness has almost completely gone away. This ring finger right here still has some on the top, right behind the fingernail. But I feel the finger really good, and I can feel the string really well. So if you can feel the strings, you can play guitar.
That's a big thing.
You can feel the strings. If you can't, I tried playing with like maybe 20% feeling where you can feel it, but it's kind of a weird sensation.
It is.
It
kind of like playing with your hand asleep.
It's exactly the same thing. But I switched to the bass guitar, and I have a couple of them. I got this P bass right here.
What's up, Tony? Got the voice of Cornhole in the chat. Ooh,
and it's just a plain old Squier P bass. It's brand new essentially. I got a buddy with a pawn shop, and I went in and
Nice.
I actually saw this first.
Not a
I
Steve
don't
Harris
like it. I
fan at
don't
all
like
with that
it.
bass,
I
Trev.
don't like it.
Blue
This
P
is
bass.
a five string affinity. It's
Or
also
easy with your 5-string jazz bass.
Well,
Look at
I don't
this
like
guy.
it. I don't like it. It weighs 72 pounds.
Right.
First of all, I'm
Well, and it's
exaggerating,
got too
but
many
it might
strings.
as well. When I hear guys complain about their heavy Les Paul, I have to laugh at that point. This thing is ridiculous. 5-string, the next, and the playability of it is really good. I'm knocking the bass. The bass is wonderful for what it is. I have no use for what typically would be tuned to a lower B string. Or B flat if
Nobody
I was
has
in
any business having a low B
half
string
step
on an
down from
instrument,
standard.
Charles.
And I have no.
I'm actively trolling Matt while he's telling the story, Trev.
Awesome, and so I find myself with an instrument here that I'm really not needing. I guess would be the word. I don't need it. So I'm probably going to trade this in for another P bass. Is probably how it's going to work.
Excuse me.
There's one
Mark Murray?
that's
Wade
on my
McCall?
radar. It's getting repaired. It's exactly like the one I just showed, the P bass I just showed, but it's like 20 years old, and it is beat to hell. I mean, it's beat to hell. Like I like it, and but it still plays wonderfully. But there was something wrong with it. The
I
electronics.
think that blue P bass is missing a West Ham United sticker on it.
I have this many times in the last couple of weeks. I got stickers. I got a lot of them, bro. I'm just not gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
Something will get on there.
I'm just in the West Ham United, same Steve Harris. So
Oh yeah, I
you
got
know, blue P
man.
bass. You throw some flat wounds on that. You
And
throw
so-
your left foot up on a wedge monitor and just go to town.
You and me are the flat wound guys, okay? I haven't put them on this yet. When I bought this bass, he actually had new strings, but he didn't have any flat wounds. I got a brand new set of the round wound standard Ernie Ball bass strings for both guitars.
Well, you'll put flats on immediately. You're going to lose all mids and highs, and they're going to sound 5 years old immediately.
Yes, I like the
They do
feel.
sound dead, but that's a good thing.
I like that. And you make up for it with your rig. That's where
Exactly.
you make up for it.
Yeah.
You make
They
up for it
have
with your
mids
rig.
and highs on the bass heads. Rob's told us about it.
I'm going to play some music for you guys. I'm really proud of my bass tone. It took me a couple of months of fiddling with it and playing live to hear what the end result to, StreamYard is going to be. But I've got a Mesa bass clone head I'm using Helix Native is what I'm using. Everything's
Okay.
digital. And I've got a Mesa clone that's got 5 points of you can attenuate tone with it, high to low. And the lower 3, it has a low mid, and then it has what's called bass, and then low. Okay, and you can take the 2 lows and you can tweak them slightly, and you can get this thunderous result. Now, it's very easy to go too far and create crap tone with it. You gotta have it balanced.
Or easy, Donnie.
And-
We're giving a
and
pass
so
on the digitals. Bass is
I've
resonant.
got digitals, and I love that. And so anyway, I've got a tone that I'm super happy with.
Right on.
I'm really enjoying the bass thing. We did a few tests. I did a test. I played a Van Halen song on Friday from their original catalog, album 1. We had done a show a year before, and we did a solid hour of live Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, Best of All Worlds here in Charlotte, and I had no issues. My channel's demonetized because I play copywritten music, but I stay away from the worldwide strikes, and I try to play the game correctly. And I do. But that being said, Van Halen's catalog is opened up, and so I'm looking forward, playing bass now. It's opened up a lot of songs that I just couldn't play on guitar. I suck at Eddie. I suck at George Lynch. I suck at, who doesn't suck at George Lynch is Jimmy Flippin' Biter, man. I'll tell
Part
you.
of that is you got to. Yeah, I was going to say like that. That's a pretty high bar, Charles. It's not like you're like.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's the music I love.
Can you not reference a virtuoso? How about that?
His rhythm to all those songs, all the rhythm to Van Halen songs, and all the rhythm to anything that Dokken or Lynch does is so much fun to play. And it's doable at an intermediate level. It's just when he fucking throws the fire on, it just goes off the
or they
chart,
do all
and you go
little extra, as called, the fiddly bits.
If I had $1 for every Dokken song that I learned up to the solo, it's there's 10 or 12 of them. I mean, literally, and the solo just threw me off.
95% of the guitar parts in a Van Halen song or a Dokken song, everyone's going to do, you did a great copy of that, Trevor. You're like, yeah, but I left all this on the table. Like, Pete Thorne was talking about that a few weeks ago, how he's going back and watching his old videos, like doing Van Halen stuff. He's like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Or rediscovering how to play better, this, that.
Yeah.
So I get it in that respect.
Well, it was a combination of my inability to do it, and Ryan, hey, just a quick rabbit hole. That last video you posted, I think it was yesterday. Damn, it was good. Almost brought tears to my eyes, brother. I love everything you do, Ryan Hall. I miss you, bro. What I couldn't do on guitar, I'm able to do more on bass. I'm just able to, because bass, to say it's an easier instrument, well, how easy do you want to make it, is what I say. Because if you're looking to target like bass players like a Billy Sheehan or a Rudy Sarzo or even a Jeff Pilson. Even Jeff Pilson, who's known as what's called a pocket bass player. He doesn't do a lot of articulation, but he's playing at a fast rate of speed, and he's in the pocket. And so it's fun coming at this from a little bit different angle. Can I play a song for you guys right now? Can we do that?
I think we can. Hang on a sec here. Richard Nagamitsu had a question for you first. Are you doing any gigs in Charlotte currently?
No, I've never. It's on my bucket list to maybe when I retire to meet a couple of guys and maybe do something like that if my health holds up and everything. Right now, I could do it.
So if you do it at retirement age instead of midlife crisis would be a dad band. So retirement would be a granddad band.
All I know is I have a bunch of
because there's nothing. Can you imagine? You go like, okay, you look at and 3 retired guys come up on stage and you're like, all right, what are we going to hear? Like CCR, maybe an Eagles tune. And all of a sudden, they start lay it down or something, like pulling out a rat to you. You're like, what the fuck? You're like, oh yeah, right. We're all old. Jesus Christ.
That's right. I've got grandkids who I can get to roadie and shit. So I don't know. Maybe it'll work better on the tail end. I don't know, but no.
If you're old enough to collect Social Security, you're old enough to use a virtual rig in my book, Trev. I give an allowance for that. You don't have to be hauling an SVT head as the bass player in your 60s and 70s. You can show up with a Helix unit and go, yeah, here, DI me.
I'm sort of hoping that technology. Okay, I can dream. Here's what I'm dreaming for. In the next 5 years, it's probably doable now.
Okay.
We're kind of dabbling in it a bit.
I like dabbling in stuff.
Certainly to be able to play multiple instruments simultaneously on a streaming platform. Okay, as long as it's done balanced and clean, I can do it right now. I can play the space and you guys can grab a guitar, and I have backing tracks right now that I've taken the bass and guitar out of, other than what's necessary. Like there's rhythm guitar slightly. You can do lead work over it and it works. I've done it with Steve Brand. I've done it with Quentin James. It wasn't formal and it was kind of an impromptu thing.
Oh, Michael
but
Krause.
It worked.
At least they won't get pregnant, Michael Krause. Saying.
You got to look at all the positives.
Yep. They're not going to get pregnant. And I'm sure they know what they're doing by that age.
I want to say, I thought I was the only guy who'd stumbled onto this band. My back was out a couple of weeks ago. Thanks for all the well wishes, you guys. I appreciate that. I'm laying on my back with a heating pad, and I'm hating life. And I've got my phone, and I'm scrolling through YouTube.
And he became the second person in the YouTube community to find this band. I'm just saying that.
And I'll be honest, there was a pretty girl in the card. That's what I noticed first. And I clicked on it. And so 3 songs later, I listened to about 10 of their songs. Went through the better part of a couple of their albums, and I've got about 3 songs that I've learned, and a couple others that I'm probably going to learn. This is Ben and I were talking. Ben knows who these guys are. They're called the Lazies. Okay, and
I found out about them about 10 years ago when they're on a club tour across Canada, and their single caught on it. At least locally or within Ontario, and all I can say is if you like AC/DC, you like Airborne, you're gonna love the Lazies.
Yeah, it's just the thing that caught me is it had kind of an AC/DC vibe, and I can't play AC/DC.
And good guys
getting copyright strikes.
Right.
They'll shut worldwide.
Well, the key to that is you got to play them crappy like I do.
Ben, you'd get nailed. They're vicious on a few bands, and that's one of them.
Not as bad as Pink Floyd is. What?
The hard way.
I played, Charles. I played 15 seconds of a Pink Floyd song and got nailed.
Yeah, that's just.
And that was me playing it on an acoustic, not playing a backing track.
No, that's just unacceptable, man. You know, the Ataris, right? Well, they did that cover of Boys of Summer.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it all the time. I love playing guitar to that song. It's not super hard, but it's killer and it's fun. It's fun.
And I should ask anybody in the chat, type 1 in the chat if you're familiar with the Lazies band.
30 seconds. You go 30 seconds.
Zach Long should be familiar with the Lazies. He's local.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna rock out a tune. I'll see you in a couple of seconds. Right on.
I'm rolling a dupe.
You're a hurricane, a story to tell, the roar of a lion, looking to raise hell. Yeah! You're a dangerous mind, hiding
Fuck yeah.
Right on.
I just like the song, and
For those of you that aren't familiar with the Lazies, you're familiar with them now.
Now you know.
I like it. They got videos on YouTube. Check it out.
Yep.
Hey, can I just play another song real fast? Can I just do that? Can we rock, or you guys want to
Do a
talk?
double shot. Oh, well, I guess I could smoke this joint I just rolled during the last song.
Smoke that joint, Ben. Let's rock, guys.
All right, we
This
got
is
Mitch
for-
Heyman
this-
saying, excellent, Charles. Just saying.
Mitch, I love you. That's my partner in crime, you guys.
Oh.
Mitch Heyman right there. He only does the misdemeanors, though. I just want to throw that
By
out
the
there.
way, I'm just going to say, Charles, you brought this guy out of, like, the hinterland. We haven't seen hide-haired Charles in months. And all of a sudden, I booked Charles Greene on, and there he is.
I love you, Charles.
Yeah.
Right on, bro.
Yeah,
Right
it could
on,
be.
man.
I don't know. I'm just saying that's the way it is, you know. So
That's how it is. That's
yeah,
how
didn't
it
come
is.
last week for cousin Doug. Listen, nah. Even though he
Hey,
likes cousin Doug.
Look, this is the very best of Canadian rock. You guys
Yeah.
are going to say, oh, you mean Rush? No. The other guys.
I'm not saying I actually prefer the band that's opening for these
other-
guys.
the
next year.
other guys.
We'll talk about that after the song.
I got something on my mind. I want you to know. The rock troops are on the move. Stop the show. Paratroopers and
Right on.
Not too shabby.
I love that band.
Man,
I absolutely love
I'm
that
hearing a
band.
lot of Steve Harris in that bass part. Like, the way you were playing it as well, like especially towards the end, that build up, I'm just like, I can see Steve doing the same thing, just giving her. And
Steve Harris, I was on Puppy Badass with Keith H. and Edward earlier today, and we were talking about bass players and speed.
Mm-hmm.
He plays faster with his fingers. He played fast. Now he's no slouch, but back in the day, in the early 80s, he played faster with his fingers than guys could with a pick.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in excess of 200 beats a minute. And a lot of the early beginning songs for Iron Maiden, they were up speed. It was known as speed metal, is what like my peer group called it. We were like Iron Maiden speed metal, you know.
It's because new wave of British heavy metal. That's too long and complicated.
I'm pretty fast with a pick legato picking. I'm no slouch. I can go quick. But I max out at like 180, 385, 180, 180. I'm okay at.
I'm nowhere
constant.
Near as I used to be, let alone on bass.
And legato picking.
Yeah.
But the song Moonchild by Iron Maiden, I know it note per note. It's one of the rabbit hole songs I grabbed. I went down an Iron Maiden hole for about 2 weeks, and I learned 6 Iron Maiden songs. And all but 2 I can play. And one of the ones I can't play is Moonchild. And the reason I can't play it is because the studio version, the remastered version, I don't know, I've looked. The slowest version is 195 beats a minute. So what do I have to do? Well, I have Moises. I can slow it down. I can parse it out and come out at 185 maybe or something. So but I'll be honest, I noticed the difference in the dynamic of the song even at a mere little 10 beats per minute change. The dynamic does change.
There you go, Charles. Doug says, don't worry, Charles. I can't either.
Right on, Doug. It ain't easy, man. No, and it's frustrating because not only do you got to get to speed, you got to stay there for 6 minutes.
Right.
And it doesn't stop because it's relentless. The music is just relentless. The minute you think you're coming out, they drag you right back in. And so, and that's what we like about it, right? So, anyway, that is,
I was waiting
how
for
it
our
is.
in-house bass player to weigh in. And he says, fingerstyle bass is faster than picked. And if you can pluck the strings with 3 fingers, sure, on your right hand, and not just 2, makes those faster, longer passages easier to play.
That's true. That is true. I don't have it in my hands. I can finger pick. I can, especially like slower stuff, 80 beats a minute. I have a lot of fun, although I'm shredding the ends of my fingers off.
Something apparently you're supposed to bring up. Ask Ben, what band does Darren sing?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, Ben. Darren, I can't remember his. Zach, what was that last name? The band Darren sings in. I'm so sorry. I meant to write it down.
Are we talking
Earlier
about
today,
Darren James Smith? From Harem Scarum? Darren James Smith? Who just had a birthday last week?
Mitch, he asked me earlier today on a show, and I meant to write it down, and I forgot. Zach, I forgot to write Darren's
Zach has
name
to
down.
say yes if it's. I assume that's who he's referring to, but I want to confirm. In case there's another Darren that I'm supposed to be knowing about.
I was wondering. I'm curious. I don't know what the significance of it is, though. I'm very curious to find that out. I don't know. I didn't know if it was like. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I'm just waiting for Zach to say yes, and then I will tell you. Okay. Or he can say Hayden Blue Mox instead. Not holding up the show at all is there, Zach. Thanks. Yeah, that's. Well, I gotta say Hayden Blue Mox first. Easy there, Coombs. I'm like, all right. Jesus. But I believe, yes, Darren James Smith, who played drums for Harem Scarum. Sup, John Shane?
Right on, John. Right on, brother.
And they had. Yes, it was Smith. Thanks, Charles.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah, so he played drums with Harem Scarum,
Okay.
for their entire career, and then he was also and ironically enough, the drummer from just to go on a side tangent, the drummer from the Killer Dwarves fronted a band that I went to see one night. Who it's just where I ran into Darren and became friends with him at the same gig because we're looking at each other like, do we know each other? And it's like I felt like we did. Like I thought it was someone I went to school with, and he thought it was someone he's gigged with, and so we just hit it off and stuff. But he's a cool guy. And watching a drummer who fronted a band, and I'm going to say a year or two after that, he says, "Hey, man," and at that time I knew he also played guitar as well as drums and sang because he hosted like an open mic night weekly and stuff locally at that time. And so it turns out one of our guitar heroes, Jake Ely, was putting a band together, a decade or so ago, Red Dragon Cartel, and Darren was hired as the singer.
Okay, all right, and that's
that would be Darren all over the first album, and then
I get it.
Jake replaced Darren with another singer. That lasted about half a tour, and then he brought Darren back to finish out whatever shows they played, and that was up until like COVID. And I don't think they played as Ray Dragon Cartel since, if I'm not mistaken. But he is, effectively their singer in the band.
Now,
great singer, and he just had a birthday, I believe, last week, and celebrating 3 years sober. So there you go.
Right on. Very cool, man. Right on. So what else is going on, you guys? I mean, if you guys have any questions for me, ask away.
You remember the question you had for Charles, Ben?
I do, and I keep forgetting too. I want to mention that anyone that donates to the virtual tip jar between now and the holidays is going towards the girls' Christmas fund. Girls being nieces get gift cards for the mall. Leftover money goes towards chocolates for Amanda. Well, and the girls. Let's be honest. So, if you do donate, that's where the money's going this month, folks. So, anywho's, yes, I had a question. There was a period of time, Charles, where you, for a living, you watched a door and made sure only certain people were allowed to go through that door. Okay. And so I'm sitting there, what would it be, 2 weeks ago, Trev? Week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we'll say? Week and a half, because I didn't catch it right away. Week and a half ago, I'm sitting down watching one of these Rick Beato interviews, as millions of people do, and he's interviewing Flea. And Flea's talking about how he snuck into every LA club to see every band back in the day. And so I thought to myself, did he pull a fast one on Charles and sneak in?
I knew Flea. I knew all of them. I used to go watch them in Hermosa Beach. They, what's his name? Coitus. His mom had a house down in Hermosa, the one house off the Strand. They used to play there. Me and my buddy Tony, in his car, we used to go smoke weed, and we'd sit in the alley behind that garage and listen to them play all of their pre-club material. Okay? I can remember all of them at the Starwood, Gazzari's, the Whiskey, Flea. Flea ran with there was it wasn't always just the person you're talking about. There's always a little group of characters.
Well, and this is the thing,
like with
Charles,
David
and I
Lee
thought
Roth, he had this group of guys, and
Flea has never come up in conversation. Whatever that, as far as I can remember, and we've done this a few times, folks. It's a playlist. I used to go to parties, and I went to a party in Torrance. I say parties. I went to a party in Torrance once in a backyard. Torrance Beach is just south of Manhattan Beach and Redondo and Hermosa, and in California, in what's known as the South Bay, not the San Diego South Bay. It's more north. They were playing in the backyard, man.
Right on.
Very unrefined.
Sure.
Incredibly punk. Incredibly punk.
To describe the first 2.5 albums.
The difference was that they were not normal. They sounded absolutely unique.
Right.
They always sounded unique.
The really early stuff, and I'm just thinking back to like the first time. almost Primus-like in how different it was compared to everything else out there.
Because of the bass. Because of
Well,
the
not
bass and
just
the
that,
backbeat,
but just
right?
the guitar work. Nobody else was playing guitar like Halal, and
True.
nobody else was rapping over stuff. Really,
The funkiness of the songs too, right?
So,
yeah.
So and the way he raps is really not rapping, because he has so much melody in his voice when he's doing it. He's kind of sing talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything about that band is
other
unique.
than, like the really fast stuff where he says because Flea did in the interview. Oh, you mean like this song? You're like, whoa, easy.
Yeah,
Easy. You don't have to do all the beats in the 1 minute. You know.
And they had this cult following. There was my buddy Tony was way more into the Peppers than I was. We called them the Peppers. That's what we called them. And he was in tune with, like, the roadies were friends of his and shit. And they had like this inner circle that clung to their band like a magnet. And it was all surfers and punks and skateboarders. Yeah, just like that. And guys who rode BMX, the early days of BMX, those guys that was their music. That was the genre that and the whole South Bay, they probably had a following before they ever played a club. 300, 400 people.
I think I discovered them, and it was just by chance, and it wasn't until later that I put two and two together. I want to say an episode of Miami Vice. They were like playing a party on a boat, and they were the house band type thing, and they were doing Jungle Man. Yeah. And I just remember, I went, I've never heard anything like this before. It sounds like Commodore's funk, but by four crazy white guys. You know, like, what is going on here? And it stuck in my head. And then as soon as I think I came around the third album, I discovered, immediately went back and bought everything. And I was kind of out by Mother's Milk.
Yeah. So they've gone through guitar chain. You know, Dave Navarro played for the Peppers for a while. Yes. There have been some versions, but one really cool thing about the Peppers that kind of affected my life, I had a group of friends I ran with in high school. Close friends. There was maybe 12 of us. We stayed friends up. Many of us are all still friends to this day. One of them, his name is David Levine. His stage name is David Rat. He is the Peppers and Blink-182's audio engineer. So all through the years, he's the guy. He also does Coachella every year. He's the lead sound tech for Coachella. And he was at the US Festival in one of those towers one of the closest towers right off the stage, one of the first ones. He was in there doing sound. But he's still to this day. Only up until 2 years ago, if I went to one of the shows, he doesn't do the shows anymore. He's got guys now who do it. But that's where I would meet him. I would go to the show and I'd just get to the floor and I'd walk in and sit there in the sound booth with him during the show.
Nice.
Yeah, fond memories of the Chili Peppers.
It's always a great place to sit, folks. Why? Is if you're sitting where the sound man sits, he's tuning the room from where he's sitting. So it's going to be the best sound in the house. Is always at the soundboard.
You guys should Google him. You should check him out. He has YouTube videos where he talks about audio engineering and how to everything that has to. He was the biggest science nerd, electronics specifically when I was in high school, and we're in the same year. So my freshman year, he's already the teacher's aide. In my freshman, how the hell do you do that? How do you come into high school and become a teacher's aide? Well, who knows? By junior year, he was rebuilding amps, taking stereo systems and repairing them for the teachers. He's a real trip. He flies a helicopter. He's a trippy dude. I've sort of toyed with asking him to come on my show and just sit and talk about the old days, but
that'd be cool.
I know where all the bones are buried, and it would be a very interesting show. But he is totally in love with the Chili Peppers. I'll say it like this. He not only was their biggest fan from day flickin' one, but he became their audio engineer and toured with them for 40 years. So that's kind of cool. There's a big story there. We'll tell it sometime. Right on, man.
I like how Billy saw he went to the show where Navarro was with the Peppers, and Flea was with Jane's Addiction. Like, so what are you doing, Trev? You just kind of swapping a couple members out of each band?
And look, I'll just say it like it really didn't work. Okay, I mean, because it just didn't work.
My problem, I like Dave Navarro for playing
Yeah.
Girls, but like Dave
Yeah.
played with 6 bands in the '90s, and every band he played with just sounded like that band with Dave Navarro. He never blended in with any band he ever played with.
That's true.
Great player, but it was literally, you might as well have said like Jane's Addiction featuring Dave Navarro or Red Hot Chili Peppers featuring Dave Navarro, because he's coming in and just doing his thing.
True.
But
I'm
yeah,
right there
awesome
with
story.
you.
Correct, Terry.
And he didn't.
Yeah,
really, I'm
that
not
was the
knocking on him
interview, and
because
he's all like, "Oh yeah, I stuck in every club." Blah 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 blah. I was like,
you
really?
have to be the Chili Peppers guitar player. There's a certain amount of distortion and saturation that you have to do. It's maybe considered a little too much to a lot of people, but it's supposed to be that way. I didn't dig the way he tried to emulate, to be honest. I thought it was kind of phoned in. But I'm not about to pick them apart because, damn, they are good. And they're fantastic live. Last time I saw them was ironically with Baby Metal. Yeah, I've seen Baby Metal. I'm down. It was interesting. It was very interesting.
Sure. I'm not even going to pick at that scab, Trav. Moving on. Got Earl in the house. Got 54 people watching. I hope at least 50 of you hit the like. I'm just saying. That
Come
helps.
on, guys. Hit that button. Right
Algorithms and such. And
hey, let me play a song. Can I play a song?
you want to play another song? Play another song.
I'm going to go make a Caesar and listen on my.
You go make a Caesar. For those who don't
on,
know,
brother.
that's a Bloody Mary with a little clam juice, basically.
Let's make Charles bigger this time.
All right. Well, you're the producer, Trev. I just sit here and try to look pretty.
All right, this will be better.
I love it. Hey, this is just fun stuff right here, you guys. I hope you like it.
What's up, Blue Mox?
Just move on, baby. Time has got you
right, you're a little rougher than I like it. That's not an hard. It's not an easy song to play.
It's not.
It's not easy to do it
You
consistent,
can
but
do
I'm
one
getting
part.
better
Shouldn't
at
you
it.
doing backing vocals too then?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
It's a fun song to play.
You know,
though. Right on, right
And
on.
I'm going to shout out to Juan. His voice has held up as much as sadly Stephen Piercy's hasn't. Juan's has.
It's gone. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But because like you watch the live stuff, and because he'll be covering, and he has always hit those highs. It's great to see, and yeah, great job. It's unfucking believable.
Oh man, absolutely. Right on, right on.
Mark Taft says, "Sounds awesome. Great to see you tonight."
Thank you, Mark. It's good to see you too, my brother.
Oh
Right
yeah, I
on.
forgot to do that because Trev's producing. Nice timing too. Comes back like the song's done like 10 seconds. He's like, "Hey, it back." Apparently, it takes approximately one rat song to make a cocktail in Trev's household.
It's all about timing.
Yeah,
Right
that sounded great on the phone.
Right on.
Right.
Yeah. Right on, guys. Right on.
Yeah. So if you have any questions for any of us, put some question marks out front. You can add us. If you're a member, you can use a member milestone message or stand out with super chat. I won't fault a fella for it.
Right on. Right on. I'm just reading the chat right now.
I got one.
I'm noticing. Yeah, Ryan, I love that last song you posted, bro. Absolutely beautiful. Ryan Hall, you
I have a
guys.
song idea for him, but I don't want to say it publicly, so I got to remember to email him.
Richard says cooking with Trev should be a regular feature. Darn right.
Understatement.
Darn right. That's right.
Nice, Trev. I'm like, ooh. Oh. Okay.
Right on.
Member for a month shy of 4 years, Trev. Jesus.
Coming up.
Right?
Must have signed up at Christmas time.
New Year's resolution, become a member of the cult. It's not a cult.
It could be.
Yeah. The funny thing, Charles, I keep threatening next time I go into Long McQuaid, because they have the profile for your account. It has occupation, and I think right now it says YouTuber or something like that. I don't want to put in there, not a cult leader.
Not a cult leader.
Just not a cult leader. And they're like, why does it say not a cult? Because I'm not a cult leader. There's Michael B. Any bands that played on the strip that never made it big that should have?
Yeah, there were lots of, here's the thing. I don't care how good a guitar player you are. I don't care how good your band sounds. I don't care how accomplished your bass player is or your drummer was. Took lessons since he was 6. I saw hundreds of musicians who were great.
Sure.
But here's what I didn't see a lot of. Bands who came up with the songs. Okay? The reason Motley Crue made it was because they had good songs. They played them well, and they had good songs, and they stood out. It was like, oh. It was unique, and it stood out. Little things made bands break, like when George Lynch joined Don Dokken, and Dokken just reformed. He came out. He was very popular on the strip. I was just talking about this 2 nights ago. Don Dokken's original band was killer, and he was beloved.
Like both of them had been around the scene for a bit.
He was more beloved.
The combination.
At the time. Yeah. Well, he was more beloved. I remember Randy Rhoads was incredibly beloved and popular, and his reputation was still carrying from a few years before with Quiet Riot. Well, Don hadn't reached, his band hadn't reached quite the same, they hadn't reached the same fame as Quiet Riot had at that time. But as far as like Don Dokken and Randy Rhoads before he joined Ozzy, he was very popular and well known. I used to my girlfriend, my fiance, and her roommate were very close to Randy. He was just as popular. Don was loved in Hollywood, and he was known. Mario and him used to hug, and Mario would take him in his back office, and they'd sit there and shoot the shit. under his wing. I mean, literally, Don had it. But what he didn't have was tooth and fucking nail. Okay? But once he had tooth and nail, he had the songs, the radio break came, and George Lynch was lightning. He was the thunder, and he was the lightning, and Pilson was the thunder. And
Bo's just throwing
it was
down,
an equation that made them break. But they were fantastic before that. There was a band, a fusion band. They were like a rock / fusion, like more like a Jeff Beck kind of a deal going on.
Mm-hmm.
Think Blow by Blow, okay? A guy named Brian Wilde, spelled like Zach Wilde, but his name was Brian Wilde, and he was a little more of a preppier kind of a dude. He wore like a
What's up,
he
man?
looked a little more like a Eddie Money in dress, the way he dressed, and he was unbelievable an unbelievable guitar player. And people would come, and guys from record industries and stuff would show up. There was always a buzz.
Sure.
But what they didn't have were the songs. Okay? So as far as the club thing goes, a lot of people will come out, like at the Lighthouse in Hermosa and all the jazz clubs. You come out to see your favorite guys do their shtick. But that's individual, solo, possibly they're getting together with some friends and they're doing that thing. That's, if you don't have the songs and you're a rock band, you're just kind of just culminating, just rolling around waiting for something to happen. I saw more of that than anything else. Good example, the band Snow. Okay? Carlos Cavazo spent years in that band. They were loved. They were essentially the house band before Motley Crue at the Whiskey for like 3 years. That's a big deal. They had some catchy tunes, but only a couple that really grabbed you. Carlos Cavazo's signature licks and tunes that he actually wrote. Kevin Dubrow came in there. I told that story. He came in there, scooped up Carlos one night, and Metal Health was fucking born.
Yep.
And that opening riff to Metal Health, he stole from Snow. He took their anthem, turned it into $1 million song, and the rest was history.
Right.
If Carlos didn't get up with Kevin at that moment, he'd have never gone anywhere.
Right.
Because he didn't have the vehicle to do it. Now, I was never a really big fan of most of Quiet Riot, with Kevin Dubrow's version of Quiet Riot, the Carlos version, of their music that much. There was a little bit of it that I liked. I heard all their early club stuff. I heard it all a few times. It was okay. But Motley Crue had songs that people loved, and it was obvious that the song is what grabs you. And there were so many guitar players and bass players. Cliff Burton, there's a beautiful example. Cliff, when I think of bass players at the Whiskey, I think of Cliff. I think of him first and foremost because I saw him with 3 different bands. I got to watch James and Lars try to poach his ass. I had no idea that's what they were doing, but they were trying to poach him for the better part of a year. And he was a member of a couple of different bands that were they were never going to go anywhere because they were just doing the same thing. They were just stirring the pot, just milling around. Bands would get together and break up and reform on a weekly basis.
I was going to say, I had a question because, you got familiar with industry people. Like, you recognize faces in crowds as much as, especially them that are going to be backstage and that. Like, there had to come a point where, you'd been around long enough that you would see, okay, this band's good, but then all of a sudden you would start seeing the right people at those shows that you went, okay, these guys are going to be big in 3 months because you're like, that guy's here. Like, you'd see the headhunters, the A&R guys,
Yeah. I see a couple of questions. First of all, Bo, it's good to see you, Bo, Guitar Man 45 in the chat. Yeah. You rock, man.
But he said he was hanging out with the parents of Greta Van Fleet on Friday night when they went to see the band Feel play, which is another great band. Yeah, if you don't know the band Feel, Check them out. They are badass.
Right on, right on. He's asking me a question. Let me see here. Dave, yes, Dave is coming down here to catch Megadeth and Maiden with me. We have tickets for the PNC in September. We already have them. It's a planned gig. And so I am planning to come back up there. You're talking about to see the Raps. Tony, Fruitcake Tony and I and Brendan and I think Ed, I'm not sure if Ed was there. We got to interview Jacob. He is a flipping killer guitar player. I would love to do that. I'll have to see. We're going to have to see what's going on, bro. I will look into it.
Interesting. Papa
I'm
Blue
coming up
happens
there.
to
You
mention
can
he's
count on
got
that
6
shit.
CDs of live club recordings of the bands on the LA Strip in the 80s, all kinds of bands. Really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I assume like bootlegs of some kind, which I actually have too. I have a double album of GNR from the Whiskey and a club in San Diego. I think it's the other album. Like around 85, early 86, which is basically
Right on.
mostly the material from the first album.
I noticed Papa Blue said that. He asked about that.
Yeah.
There was...
Oh yeah, by the way, if you didn't know, Charles has a channel too, folks. Yes,
Evidently, evidently Mitch and I do this YouTube thing on the regular. It's funny how YouTube works. It really is. I'm the last guy I ever thought I'd be doing this thing.
All right. For Mark Taft, do you have a Nikki Sixx story? I know you've told a few, but an anecdote. How about a Nikki Sixx anecdote rather than a story?
So the Yostinator was in my chat. You guys know the Yostinator. What a rocker. He was in my chat on Friday, and his brother, I think his older brother, if I read it correctly, I saw it on the replay, because if I had seen it during the show, I would have mentioned this during the show. He was hanging at that moment. He was with Nikki. And I was going to get him to text his brother and tell him that Chuck from the Whiskey. And I know Nikki will remember me because I know where the fucking bones are buried with Nikki Sixx. Okay? And I interacted with him quite a bit. Didn't get quite as friendly with him as I did with Tommy and with Vince, but I got to spend a lot of time with Nikki. Talking about songs, he's the reason Motley Crue made it, because he wrote great songs. However, if they didn't have that equation of Tommy, he has a huge turbulence that follows him when he comes into a room. He's Tommy fucking Lee. He's always been that way. Okay? Vince back in the day could sing, and his singing was not like anybody else on the strip. No. There was nobody who sung like Vince Neil. No. And he was perfect. And then Mick was just fucking icing on that cake. That's why they made it. They had the songs.
Well, it's like you were saying, like bands doing this, Charles. It does take all 4 parts. Like you might get signed. You can get signed with 3 out of 4, but you're probably not gonna. You might have one hit. You know, you might be a one-hit wonder. You're not really gonna. But it really takes all that, because there is something to that. You know, like say the songs as well. But when all 4 are playing together and it's perfect, it sounds like 6 people on stage.
That's true.
It's hard to explain. Like you've heard it, you'll hear it from a crowd standpoint, but like I just know from a stage standpoint, all of a sudden you get goosebumps because you're like, oh, we are just dialed in, and then all of a sudden it feels like you're in a Lazy Boy. You're like, let's have fun, because we are dialed in.
The first time I heard Heart live, it was at the Whiskey. I've been listening to their music, but I hadn't seen them in concert at that point. Sure. But they had, this was just pre-MTV, so they were at the pinnacle of their Dreamboat Annie success. I mean, they were Heart, right?
Right.
Oh my God! When I heard them, I was like, well, now I can tell, because I'd already heard, other bands at that time. They were the very first band I ever heard at the Whiskey A Go-Go, by the way. Because that's good. I worked there. That was the opening. They were the band that I went there to actually work for. But it was shocking how good they were. And there's a defining moment where a band is average and then all of a sudden they are a cut above
Yeah,
average.
also
It might
you're-
be one song, it might be a specific vibe with the music. It can be a combination of things, but it's magic. It's magic. There were lots of
I didn't
bands,
realize
you know.
that I needed that in my life until I heard that.
Can you imagine the Plasmatics? I forget his name off the top of my head. I hate when I do that. The bass player for the Plasmatics. I'm sorry. He made the band. Okay? He made that band. Without him, it wouldn't have been the same. It just wouldn't. There were lots of bands.
Just some crazy blonde wearing electrical tape.
Oh, I'm telling you what, man. He was cool. And he did things, you know, he was punk as can be. But him and bands like Agent Orange and stuff were utilizing the bass like Lemmy was. And they were using the octave, they were playing the octave, and they were hitting full chords through a freaking stack. And it sounded monstrous, and it was really
Which
cool.
is also great when the guitar player does some form of lead break where they're not playing down here anymore. So sonically,
Yeah, all
Those are
upper
good.
registry. It's monstrous. It's monstrous.
it's all that all the
Lemmy
middle
did
ground.
it best. Lemmy did it best. I'll just say it like that. But, yeah. Very cool, man. Very cool. Very cool.
We're going to go a little while longer here, folks. Got some great. This questions as much as brain spurring into conversation moments.
Absolutely. You know, it's Christmas time, you guys. I procrastinate every year. At least yours no different. When are you coming down here for a NASCAR race, Ben Coombs?
I stopped following NASCAR, Charles, so probably none. Not going
I'm
to.
sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that.
Him coming down for
I understand that your camping out at the Motor Speedway was legendary, bro.
It
I'm
was.
just saying.
It was, and yeah, it's just if they still had put out the same product on the track they did 10 years ago, I might still go, but
Yeah.
it sucks. Basically, I gave up. I can't do this anymore. And cousin Doug was the same way. It was like, oh, come on. There was none of that conversation. He's like, yeah, I'm done too.
Oh, I get it. It was mutual.
Yeah,
Well,
which told me there I was making the right decision in many ways. Like,
yeah.
I was
Oh,
just
this is-
thank you, Trev. I was like, what? I was like, whoa, did I do that mentally?
Oh, fucking blasters, Los Lobos. X, I loved X. Los Lobos, Carlos Guitarlos. I have fond
Los Lobos.
memories of Los Lobos. They were truly unique, you know. They're all Hispanic essentially, and this is just before they really started breaking and getting their, movie. They got some soundtracks and movies. They had some movie exposure like the Bus Boys did, and Carlos Guitarlos. He was one of the kindest. He was old. He wasn't like a young guy. He was like my dad's age. A lot like Top Jimmy. All the Top Jimmy's musicians were like my dad, but they were like an incredibly rough street version of my father. I'll just put it that way. And I can remember the family being there. They had like all the roadies and stuff. They were a very big band. They had a following very much like Billy and the Beaters. And I don't know if you remember Billy Vera and the Beaters. They were another big club band who were known. They did movie soundtracks and things of that nature. Really cool. Really cool. Blasters. Fucking great band. Great band. X. I've seen X in 3 clubs in LA. 4 clubs in LA. I saw X at Godzilla's, ironically, in the Valley. Yeah, the Valley. Godzilla's was a rock club that showcased primarily all punk, but it was incredibly violent. It had 2 stages and 2 bars, and 2 bands could play simultaneously. And if you stood in the middle, between both clubs because it was just a doorway separating the two big rooms, and it was all wide open. Okay, it was one of the stupidest clubs I've ever been in my life. The most violent. It ended up getting shut down. It was called Godzilla's. Some of you guys in the chat remember God frickin' Zillas, man.
Well, I've seen some LA survivors in the chat here, as well. So
that's why I'm mentioning it. Right on.
Gracie Monkey Guitars, looking at you.
It's funny. Different bands associated with in LA, it's like dependent. If you were a Valley band, you'd played in the Valley and you were known. And when you came to LA, it's like you came from a world away. No, dude, you were 30 miles. It's really not that big a deal, but it seemed like it. And there was always some kind of a clash. It just always was. It was never smooth, it seemed, back in the day. A lot of the time, I'll say that.
I was lucky enough.
But
I
the
saw
music
Los play at the Gibson party at NAMM one year, and they were awesome.
Say that again, Ben. I didn't hear what you said.
I got to see Los Lobos play live at the Gibson party in 2020. Yeah, and and everyone else is mingling around because they were just a house band at a party essentially. Yeah. And I'm just like, well, I got to catch at least one song just right up front. I'm just like, just absorbing. I'm like, yep, this is damn cool. It was the weirdest thing because the announcement was to announce a bunch of Slash model guitars. I think it's the acoustics, the Slash acoustic series. And then they're like, so here's these guitars. So now you want to hear some music? So it's like, I'm like, Slash is going to play? And I'm like, shouldn't Slash be out talking about the guitars Slash going to play? And they're like, Slash guitars too. Here's Los Lobos. So I'm like, what? That does not make sense at all. But yay, Los Lobos, because honestly, I'd rather catch a set of them than Slash. Just saying.
They, I did the soundtrack to La Bamba. That was sort of their claim to fame at the time, was right?
Awesome.
They were the rockinest mariachi band I ever saw. I would always laugh and say it like that. So Carlos had, let me see if I get this story correct. I want to get it right. There was I think he was I'm not sure if he was one of the son. His name was Caesar, was his name. And Caesar sang mariachi, legitimate mariachi. He was, I got to stand backstage with these guys. I got to talk to him. He was telling me a story about all his girlfriends. I said, he got a lot of girlfriends? And his buddy was with me. He goes, oh, Caesar's got a lot of girlfriends. I said, how many girlfriends? And he's like a smirky guy. He pulls a freaking black book out of his pocket. Right. A black book. And he's going, well, and I said, what do you do? And he goes, I sing. I said, you're a singer. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy, he sings the mariachi. He goes to the Mexican Hispanic club on dance night, and he woos the girls singing mariachi music. And I looked at this guy, and I said to myself, my God, this guy's got it freaking made. He had it made, guys. He had it made. When we wanted to do,
I sing the music that makes the panties wet.
I'm just telling you, it was a cultural thing for him, but my eyes were open, and I found it really cool. I thought it was cool. I'll never forget that dude.
He saw Los Lobos play in a Mexican restaurant and a baseball stadium. Yep.
Yes.
That's at both ends of the spectrum.
Thank you for asking about Los Lobos. I haven't thought about that kid in years. It's been years since I thought about him. What a trip.
I have one of their songs on regular rotation on my playlist. I can't remember the name of it right now. But it is the most badass fuzz tone I've heard in years.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, anybody else?
Los Lobos, Chili Peppers. I love it. It's different. I like it. I don't know.
I was thinking about Mario the other day. I think about Mario a lot. The owner. He was the owner. I loved Mario. I wish I had the opportunity to have his ear just one more time and do a little parking lot walk with him. He used to go out back of the Roxy. I'd show up there from time to time, and usually at his request for us to come up because he wanted somebody else to stand in a hall. Nothing glamorous, but keep people out of this damn hallway, or keep them out of this walkway. It was always something stupid. But it was my job. But inadvertently, he would always grab me and say, hey, walk with me. He didn't want to go outside and walk the parking lot alone, but he liked to get out of his office and get out and just walk under the stars. It's L.A. It's beautiful most of the time. And I wish I could walk with him and ask him some questions just one more time. Every star, every band, every producer, every director, he knew them all. He was a treasure trove of information, and he just freely would talk. That's my greatest memory of Hollywood, to be perfectly honest. Greatest memory of Hollywood is Mario Maglione. Yeah.
You know what? That's a good way to wrap tonight's show, Trev.
Yeah.
I like that.
Guys, it's been fun, man.
Yeah,
I just
and
want
definitely are going to do it again,
now,
folks.
how many bass players you had on here to play live?
I hear the crickets.
1. Okay, so bass players, get out here. Rise up. Show yourselves.
I see it.
Need a backing track. You get up with us.
I'll be back tomorrow with Canucks with guitars, not basses, playing guitar of some kind and shape, as well as, I don't know, we got the bad album covers. I might do a deep dive on a pedal. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, Rob.
Nice.
And we got demos coming out this week. I'm sure one of them includes a Gretsch because I shot 6 demos last week and 3 of them were Gretches. So
very cool.
17th is the third Wednesday.
That's right. This Wednesday, Water Buffalo meeting, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. There's Mark Spurgeon and Ben Tom's been lurking. What's up, brother Tom?
Hey, Richard Nagamitsu, are you going to Megadeth and Iron Maiden in September at the PNC? If you're going and you don't have a ticket yet, I have an extra ticket I will give you. You can sit with me during the show.
Yay! Sounds like you won a contest.
If you would like to go, just get up with me on Facebook.
Thanks for the mental image, Tom, because he's naked in bed. Thanks.
Love you, Tommy. Right on,
he's
man.
pulling a John Lennon. He's having a bed in.
My daughter got me a gift for my birthday. She got me a couple of Megadeth Iron Maiden tickets to the PNC.
He says, I don't have a ticket yet.
So if you would like to go, Richard, I'm inviting you right now as my guest. I have Section 10 is where I'm at, Section 10. I thought I had Section 9, but I have Section 10. And Dave Z is actually meeting me there at the show as well. So it's in September. We have plenty of time. It's not just around the corner, but time flies on YouTube. So
That'd be awesome.
Right on, brother. Get up with me. We'll make it happen, bro.
Jason,
see, guys, that's how you roll on YouTube, right there.
Yep.
There we are. So
coming together.
Week. I'm going to play some music tomorrow. We'll see if anybody recognizes it, including the original artists. I always take it as a compliment, Charles. If I play it well enough that it triggers them, to say, hey.
That's right.
And I'm like, hey, what? They're like, we want part of the monetization. I go, what monetization?
There isn't any. You can have it all.
Yep.
That's right.
You can have 100% of nothing.
That's it. And it doesn't hurt you as long as you don't have worldwide.
And that's why we run on donations on the channel, because we can't do ad revenue for live streams. So that's the way it is, folks. So we appreciate it. And so of course, hold on here, Charles. So as always, folks, hold those doors open. Let Ryan Hall ahead of you in traffic, because he's right
Ryan.
there. Be good to each other. Happy tone chasing, because karma is real. Man, does she ever. Ask Doug. He knows.
Hey, I see Bent Tom. Right on, Tommy. Love you, Tommy.
I hope the migraine goes away soon, Tom. Be good to each other. And, of course, as always, don't litter.